Recording and broadcasting.
Broadcasting? What does that term mean?
When you throw a woman back in the water.
That's pretty good.
I just saw our viewership just dropped 20%.
That's not bad at all.
Good.
All right, we're going to mute that. Hey, welcome everybody. It is Wednesday, 11 a.m. here on the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains in beautiful northern Colorado, and it is...
Dan Nickerson. I was going to say open line Wednesday or something.
What am I? Cut glass?
You always introduce me. I'm always like thinking you're going to let me speak. But
It's Joel Comm Live with
Dan Nickerson.
and a special guest that we have with us today.
I've never heard that expression, what am I, cut glass?
Yeah, that was actually from West Side Story.
Really?
The movie, yeah.
Huh.
I'm not going to go.
I'm
with
Russ
from the
Tamblyn.
scene.
I got the
Yes.
video game.
No, I'm Dan O'Day.
This is Dan O'Day. Dan is a radio guy from way back. And actually, why don't you just kind of give us a Reader's Digest version of your history.
Oh, Lord.
Tell people who you are. And we're going to move that so they can see your charming face.
Then tell people what Reader's Digest is.
Okay, tell them what... Well, actually, that's... remind me, and I'll tell you that story. How my long story in 30 seconds or so. I'm an old broken down disc jockey who got tired of getting up at 4 o'clock every morning, and so I stopped. So a long time ago, I was a disc jockey, pretty successful. And fast forward to today, what I do is I travel around the world teaching radio stations and business owners and ad agencies and small businesses how to create radio advertising that works, that makes money. I also have a parallel life. If you know any disc jockeys, it's possible they're familiar with me. I'm the leading air talent trainer, radio talent trainer around the world. I've been in 34 countries so far. I don't work with beginners, I work with working pros. And that is it. We don't have to go into like the legal problems. Easy. You know,
I'd rather you
felony
didn't.
stuff.
Anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
From where?
Los Angeles,
From
California.
LA, of course, from the left coast. And understand that when you left it, it was still connected to the States, but there's a chance it might fall into the ocean between now and...
It is interesting knowing that at some point within the next 200 years, Montana will be beachfront property.
There you go. So Dan O'Day joining us from LA, and he's actually going to be here with us in the office all day. We're going to help him to brainstorm his web presence, danoday.com. He's already got a site out there, and he's going to teach us a little bit about doing radio marketing, because here's the fact of the matter. The internet marketing realm is actually a very small world, after all. And a lot of internet marketers are reaching the same people again and again and again. But there is a much bigger world. There's a much bigger world out there of people that want to hear our message. It's just that nobody's reaching them. So that's one of the things we're doing, is looking to reach out to those people. So welcome to those of you just joining us now. We're going to have a good time. If you guys have questions about radio, about Dan's past, maybe you want to know if he knows a certain disc jockey.
Oh, I can answer all those questions. No, I deny it completely. It's a damn lie.
And there you go. So just rinse
Yeah,
and repeat
the
on
disc.
that.
Yeah. You know what? That my odd talent, although it's fading. Meryl Streep used to be famous for, she would read a script once and have it memorized. And then she said she went through menopause and lost that ability. I haven't gone through menopause. I used to have the ability, if you name a city, and I'll name a radio station there. It is gradually fading.
Let's try it. Somebody type
Lord.
in a city. We're going to put Dan O'Day, living radio legend, to the test and see if he can name a station there. Niagara Falls.
Niagara Falls, New York, or Niagara Falls, Ontario?
New York or Ontario, Corrado? In the meantime...
I want to say CJFR, but I'm getting an image of a C. Is that correct, sir?
Corrado, is that correct? New York is the one that...
Oh, New
we
York.
come up with.
So it's W something. I don't have it. Sorry. And what's
Oh.
terribly ironic is I recently created an ad campaign that ran in Buffalo.
Kansas City.
Kansas City is too easy. There are tons. KCMO, KFKF,
Baltimore.
WDAF, Baltimore, WBAL, W. You know,
Springfield,
easy.
Missouri.
Springfield, Missouri, KTO. Help me. I'm sir or ma'am. KTO. What's the last
High
letter?
maintenance. What is the one? KTO what? Gaines. KTOZ.
KTOZ, thank you.
Gainesville, Florida.
WRUF.
All right, and Elberton, Georgia.
There is a radio station in Elberton, and I've lost it. I'm sorry. It's a really good station.
Okay, we're gonna give you a chance to redeem yourself. Walnut Creek, California.
There's a small station with a signal in Walnut Creek, and it's not KKIS because that's Concord. I don't know, but I do know that a radio legend in his last years broadcast from that station. His name was Dr. Don Rose.
Dr. Dunn.
And he was
that's impressive,
a legend. in
That's
San
impressive,
Francisco.
but I can name every radio station in the entire country backwards to forwards. 107.9, 107.8, 107.7, 107.6,
I-
107.5.
There actually is a guy. Most of you have heard of Clear Channel, which is affectionately.
Their offices here, their studio here is about
of
5
course.
miles away.
Well, they're affectionately known in the industry as the Evil Empire. And Clear Channel was really built by a man named Randy Michaels, who is the single most brilliant person I've ever met in radio. And Randy is a radio junkie. In England, they call them anoraks. That's just a radio nut. And Randy, even though he was CEO of this huge company, you name a city in America, and you say AM or FM. Let's say you say AM, he'll start at the left hand of the dial and name every single radio station, call letter, dial position.
That's just a bizarre obsession.
And the strength of the tower, and then he'll go down the FM. It's a weird, scary talent.
That is. In the spirit of...
That was not to diminish your ability.
Oh,
though.
no. Thank
yeah,
you.
Dan is a very
Still on time.
talented juggler.
Actually, was it start 107.9?
In the spirit of radio, Spirit of the Radio, it's a Rush song. Today's top 10 list is radio driven. And you guys ready for this? It is the top 10 reasons that radio is not dead.
I'm not dead yet.
Bring out your dead.
Don't leave flesh wound.
Okay, so we're going to give you the opportunity to reply
Oh, really?
as needed to each one.
Okay.
You're going to get creative. You got to write them down, huh?
Note, it's blank.
It's blank. Okay, he's going to come up with these on the spot.
And this isn't one of those trick books where like there could be writing on a different page.
No, nobody's. Dan has seen these. Chris has seen them because he's.
I have
put
not
them
seen
in
those.
on the screen. But
I have not
seen this
Dan
Dan.
O'Day, that Dan.
Oh, that
other
Dan.
Dan. When I refer to Dan,
How are we going to tell each other apart?
watch this. Watch this.
Size.
Dan.
Yeah?
Yes.
Listen, I'm the one with the beard. So if you see a guy named Dan and he's wearing a beard, it's probably not you.
Okay, the number
He
10.
calls me down on a stick.
Yeah, here's Dan on a stick.
Yeah. Phone that maps.
It's a great likeness.
It is.
A little thinner.
Looks just like him, only different.
Can I buy those?
Yes. Online at danonastick.com. Somebody actually set up a
registered
website.
that. It's crazy.
The number 10 reason that radio is not dead. Number 10, because you can get them for free now. The radios.
Yes.
Not the, well, the shows are free too, unless it's.
Oh, you can get the programs. You can get radios
You can-
for free?
Yeah, you can get that. People give away radios now, so
Oh, you're going to love this one. Number 9, there will always be ugly people with great voices. Oh!
May I respond?
You may.
yes.
There will always be geeks who think they're funny.
Oh. Do I have to separate you two?
Not yet.
Oh, was that apply to me?
Of course. Oh, no, of course
I
not.
thought you meant just radio.
I was
No.
talking
Okay.
about geeks.
All right.
The number 10 reason that radio is, number 8 reason that radio is not dead.
If Dan wrote the list, why are you reading them?
Because I'm the host of the show.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's my plucky comic relief
And
when
you
I
are,
need him.
You are.
And I dispose of him until I need
Yeah.
to call him.
And
again.
when
And you
someone
are
asks-
again. Your name is.
Hey, Frank.
When someone asks a difficult question or the comic relief, that's what I'm here for.
I see.
Number 8. Cars will be around for at least 3 to 4 more years.
The only place I listen to the radio.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Because online now, I use Pandora. Pandora.com, if you're not using it yet. Great site. The music's free to listen to. You type in an artist, and it'll play a song from that artist, and then it'll play a song from something that's similar to that artist. And you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And if you give it a thumbs up, it takes note of it, and it learns your listening habits. And you can create several stations that meet different tastes. So.
And there's good news and bad news about Pandora. One is that we don't know how long it'll be around because they are struggling to find a way to pay the royalties that they have to pay. It's a great service. And the other thing that you might not know is every song is personally scored by a human being, by a musician, on a 100-point rating scale, not good or bad, but tonal quality, harmony, instrumentation, stuff like that. And it's interesting. Do you get sometimes pleasantly surprised discovering music?
Something that I haven't ever heard before.
So like you start out by, have you used Pandora?
I have not.
You start out by, who's one of your favorite musical groups?
New Order.
Okay, so you might enter New Order, and it'll play New Order song, and then it'll suggest some other group.
Right.
That
Dan's
sounds like
already in this bizarre
Say
love
yes or no.
triangle. It's
Yeah.
And so it tries to it tries to analyze them and bring like music together. And just as an experiment, I decided to see if I could make Pandora explode. I started a new Pandora radio station. I entered 2 musical artists. One was Randy Newman, and the other was Britney Spears. And the site just went down for about a week. It's, they threw up their hands.
that'll do it. Okay, this is gonna be the longest top 10 ever.
Is that because I'm interrupting?
It's because when you have a radio person,
Yeah.
there's gonna be words, lots of words.
Yeah, I know like hundreds of words.
I know you do, and you can probably spell.
You want to
too.
hear some of them?
What I
only a
want
3-hour
people to
show,
do,
too.
what I want people to do is to go to Twitter right now, and there's the URL, tinyurl.com/JC Live. Go ahead and do a tweet and tell people that we've got Dan O'Day here, a living legend of radio, the world's foremost DJ trainer.
Yeah.
You'll take that, right?
I'll take that.
And this is an opportunity to ask questions about radio and ask questions about ice hockey, and Dan's going to answer them about that.
And I also know something about radio advertising.
Number 7 in the top 10 reasons radio is not dead. It is the last place to hear catchy jingles.
I beg to differ. Would you please put on the audio and go to my website?
Okay.
I beg to differ. Would you please put on the audio and go to my website?
Okay.
I beg to differ. Do you have a different browser you can open? Yeah, we set a cookie recently.
No, I don't have a different browser. So
Okay, wait. Go to Dan O'Day.
yeah, I have to. The audio
And then I'll
coming out of here
explain.
is looping. But if you guys will go to danoday.com,
I'm sorry.
you'll hear a catchy little jingle.
We have a little jingle that pops
Dan
up
O'Day.
when you go to my website.
He's here today.
And it's been
Not
on
tomorrow.
been on there for years, and only recently did I decide to set a cookie so that you hear it only once per visit. I realized when I was turning down the audio before visiting my own website, I thought maybe I should do something.
The number 6 reason that radio is not dead: the Japanese can still make them smaller. We need to make these smaller. 1941 movie deal. Number 5 reason that radio is not dead: Howard Stern. Oh wait, never mind.
Do not be surprised when Howard's contract runs out if he ends up back on terrestrial
Yes,
radio.
he will. He's that was an error.
Oh, I don't think so. The idea of a disc jockey becoming half a billionaire, it boggles my mind.
Well, I think it's affected his branding, though. Because he's not in the eye anymore.
Personally, don't like him and wish he would go away, but that's my personal opinion. Number 4 reason that radio is not dead: it is the last appliance that still uses a dial. Mine goes to 11.
What's that from?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap.
Number 3 reason radio is not dead: Rush Limbaugh. Insert comment here.
Well, I figured people would have their own response.
Yeah, just whatever your take is. Number 2 reason: Radio Shack expanding and changing name to Radio Trailer.
Well, and coincidentally, I believe it's 75% of working disc jockeys live in trailers.
Yeah.
So
What about the non-working disc jockeys?
there's really no difference.
Shacks.
There's no difference.
Well, you get better reception when you're in a trailer too.
Hey, did we ask for replies from the audience?
No, but you got one.
Okay, I got
you notice
one.
how they always
Ladies
put-
and gentlemen, Ken Birch.
And they always put trailer parks next to radio towers. That's kind of fun.
The number 1 reason that radio is not dead: shock jocks would be very angry homeless people. All right. Good.
That's it.
Lovely.
Actually,
Beautiful.
the streets would be. You would be much safer. Not that homeless people are dangerous, but just to whatever degree you perceive them as being dangerous or scary, they would be much less so if they were out of work shock jocks, because these are people who in real life are incredibly timid And when they're behind a microphone and no one can touch them, they're so darn brave. But in real life, when they have to,
Not so much.
when someone can answer back or punch back,
Yeah.
they tend to be very, very
It's
timid.
the schoolyard bully syndrome. So here's a question for you from a random streamer, Dan O'Day. Who is your favorite DJ?
My favorite
Don't overthink
on the air
it.
on the air right now.
That wasn't specified, so sure.
Okay, I'll give you three answers in no particular order. One just retired. He is the best disc jockey in America. His name is Gary Burbank. If you're from the Ohio area, you know who I'm talking about. If you've ever heard a character named Earl Pitts, a syndicated comedy character who says, "You've heard Earl?"
Yeah.
And it always starts with, "You know what makes me sick? You know what makes me so angry? I just want to light my pants on fire." It's a right-wing redneck commentator. That's Earl. That's Gary Burbank. And he also has a character named Gilbert Gnarly, who I wouldn't attempt to do because it's far beyond me. Gary did more things brilliantly than anyone I've ever heard of. Let me find one. One quick example. Gary saved up all the commercials for 6 months that ran on his station, WLW in Cincinnati. Every commercial in which someone introduced themselves. "Hi, I'm Joel Comm for so-and-so," in the commercial. "Hi, I'm Dan O'Day for Dan O'Day's Used Cars." And he saved all of those, and then he edited them together into a talk show so that they were all talking to each other, and it was bizarre. So Gary Burbank, a British guy. Do we have an international audience?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Has the internet actually reached the international audience?
Actually, and it's their perfect time to listen too. So.
Yep.
If you ask anybody in the UK over the age of 40 who is the best presenter, that's what they call them over there, ever, anyone, including other presenters, will tell you a bloke named Kenny Everett, who was astonishingly brilliant. And finally, not best disc jockey, but most successful and most astonishingly powerful, Howard Stern.
Very successful.
Howard redefined what radio can do, and I'm not talking about the shocking, raunchy stuff. He let people know the ceiling is much, much higher than we even suspected.
Well, it had to be. He's tall.
He is tall, lanky.
And the hair, that needs more room for that too.
Yeah.
Because typically DJs are short and punchy.
But Howard did something, for those of you who are sports fans who collect arcane, little trivia things. This is the radio equivalent. Howard is the only person in history to have been #1 in Los Angeles and in New York at the same time. And that might sound like, what's a big deal? It's a big deal. It's really real. Most people never become #1 in either of those cities. And for him to do it simultaneously, well, it was amazing.
Got some radio questions for you. Can you tell us your best day as a DJ? The day you quit?
No.
Or the day you started?
My best day as a DJ. No, I can't. I might be able to single out my worst. Being a DJ was a ton of fun, and when I was a morning jock, even though I absolutely hate mornings, which is a major reason I'm no longer on the air, I would be driving across town, whether it's where I started out in a small market in Florida, I ended up in San Francisco. I'd be driving across town at 4:30 in the morning, and there's no traffic. Everyone's asleep. Just town's dead. And it was really exciting knowing that I was on my way to talk to those people. They were asleep yet, and they didn't know what I had planned for them.
Like Santa Claus.
I'm sorry?
Like Santa Claus.
That was my air name, Santa Claus. And they had no idea what was in store for. One quick example of what they were in store for: when I was in San Francisco, there's a record by a group named the Carpenters. Remember the Carpenters?
Heard of them.
Heard of them.
She and Every She's My Sister.
Acid rock group.
Yeah.
And the Carpenters came out with a song called "Goodbye to Love." And what happened is the Carpenters, when Richard started writing the songs, they would have these long choruses with no words, and it ended up he just writes songs with no words at all. They just start out going ooh ah, and "Goodbye to Love" was one of those pretty bad songs. And so I was queuing up the record, and as you know, because Joel, do they know your history in Champaign, Illinois?
Rock 107 WPGU FM, your rock authority.
And he lives in a trailer. Well, queuing up a record in the days of vinyl. See, in the movies, that's why no radio person can watch a movie that's about radio, because they always get it wrong. For example, the disc jockey's on the air talking, and then it's time to play a record, and you see him pick up the needle and put it on the record.
What?
It's like, wow, I just put it in the right spot. That's amazing. The rest of us, we cue it up, and that means it's very hard. It's that motion you're doing. It's really hard to describe, but you got the needle on it, and you're moving the record back and forth until it's just before.
And the turntable's moving. You're holding it.
Well,
place.
and then it's right. And then what you can do is then you can turn off the turntable, and you got it about half a turn back. Or then there's slip cueing, which is so cool. Slip cueing is when the record still spins, and you are holding it with your forefinger, so the record is spinning, but it's not being pushed down.
I always use this finger.
And well, that's why you didn't make it as a jockey. You used the wrong finger.
Oh, that's it.
And so I was queuing up Goodbye to Love in San Francisco, and as I queued it, and you hear it at slow speed, I thought, that sounds like the Righteous Brothers. And so I immediately went on the air and announced that I'd be playing the world premiere of the new Righteous Brothers record. And I played Goodbye to Love at 33 1/3 RPM instead of 45. And I asked people to vote which was better. And I obviously, this is a joke. No one realized it was a joke. They just called to vote.
And they thought, oh, can I share my most embarrassing moment?
Yeah.
It wasn't talking. I was playing Pink Floyd, Money, in the middle of the song, killer sax solo, right? And instead of queuing up the other record, I hit stop because I thought I was hitting start on the other one. Kick right back in again. I thought, oh.
Yeah.
And it's WPGU, so it's late at night, and some stoner sitting there going, "I've never heard that version."
Well, at least you got response. My second job in radio, I accidentally cursed on the air, which I learned never. If I'm in a radio station anywhere, I will not say a word that would get the station in trouble. And I cursed on the air, and I was mortified. And to make matters worse, not a single person complained. Nobody heard it. So at least someone was listening to you.
How about your advice to DJ wannabes? Run.
Get help, please. Just an intervention. DJ wannabe. If you want to become a disc jockey, understand you probably are not going to become rich. If you're going to have the life of a typical disc jockey, you will start in a small market at a small station that pays lousy money, and I mean less money than you're making right now, no matter what you're doing. If you're unemployed, it'll be less money than you're making now. And only become a DJ if you need to. If that's the only way you can be happy.
If it's in your blood.
Yeah, it's a disease, and you and I talked about this really. That it's in my blood, and it's really not in yours, right?
No.
So I am sure. With the day I walked away from radio to this day, I'm shocked that I was never tempted to accept a job on the air, because I have so many friends who got disgusted. It's a crazy job. You work 8 days a week. Crazy hours, no overtime. You sit in a small, tiny, windowless room talking to people you can't see. And we build hospitals for people who do that. And you're terribly insecure. You get fired all the time. And so most disc jockeys are trying to get out, but they always come back in. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. And I think it's the fact that I do seminars and still get to do my show, kind of. I get to write stuff and deliver it and interact. That's what's kept me from going back on the air, but it does get in your blood.
Do you ever want to do radio?
No, but I was just thinking though too. These days, people can start their own radio stations, right? And
Right. Well, TV stations.
So if you actually had a way to brand yourself and to monetize a particular niche that you're in, that could be an interesting way to break into the market.
Absolutely, and you have virtually no equipment costs. Absolutely. So if no one will hire you, you can give it a shot. Right now, it's really tough to make money doing that online, but if you want to do it just because you want to do it, that's true.
It would almost be interesting if you had a YouTube following, or if you had your own station, you could actually have the charisma and the voice for it, and you could build up your own list, and you could go to radio stations and say, look, I've got a list of this that will stream your station, and it's going to be 200,000 people a day because I built up this channel. And you never know, you could really parlay a
pre-made listenership.
Interesting DJ career out of that kind of.
Somebody asked if this was click here to order sitting on the desk.
It appears so.
Has that been released?
Oh yes. Have you read it?
I've heard. I went to Barnes and Nobles and the line was out the door.
Yeah.
It's
for the new J.K. Rowling book. Have you read it yet?
Have I read it yet? See how long I can just kind of avoid the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have I read it yet? Are you kidding? Would I miss reading anything of yours?
That would be no.
Have I read it yet?
But the
Reading the
rest
jacket
of the
right now.
world,
I've read some of it.
the good news, does it make you want to read the rest of it?
Absolutely. I just received it about a week ago, and I have started reading it. It's really cool.
We had a great week launching the book. We got to number 16 on Amazon.com and number 1 in all our categories: web marketing, e-commerce. We are the number 1 mover shaker on launch day. We are number 1 with an increase of book sales from the previous day of 200,000%.
Yeah. And then we switched it off.
And then we switched. We went to Barnes & Noble, and we got to number 12 on BarnesandNoble.com. And if you haven't gotten your copy yet, then I encourage you to do so. Go to clickheretoorderbook.com and pick it up. I think it's $12.21. Go to my site, because when you click the link and come back with your order number, for $1 I give you all kinds of crazy bonuses that I'm not going to go into it now, but well worth it. Not had a single refund request.
No.
People love it
Nothing
all.
but 5-star reviews too.
And also, if you buy the book, Joel makes you come on the show.
There's that too.
Yeah. We're book solid through 20.
Well, the reason you cut it off on Amazon and jumped over to Barnes and Noble was that so that you could add to the credits that it was a bestseller in Barnes and Noble.
There's actually a strategy to promote to getting a book to bestseller status. And when we did the AdSense code, my previous book, which became a New York Times bestseller, we just promoted through Amazon. But what you want to do is you want several reporting sources saying book's selling here, and it's selling here, and it's selling here. So we got Amazon realizing, okay, this is selling, this is good. And now Barnes & Noble, we're on their radar. When you're on Barnes & Noble, that gets the attention of the book buyers for the actual stores. Mm-hmm. And now they're more likely to order them to put them on their shelves, because like, oh, people are buying this, so we need to have them.
Well, I'm not joking. You cracked the AdSense code. It seems to me that someone must be able to crack the code of identifying the specific stores around the country that are the reporting stores, because there are a small number that have a huge influence.
Yeah, but their warehouse too is, they're tracking if a certain number of books. And Michael Copeland, who's with us today, had a great idea. He said, everybody out there, go to your local library and tell them you want to read this book. And if they don't have it, they're going to order it and put it on hold for you. It doesn't cost you anything, but the book sale still takes place. So everybody watching the show, go to your local library and ask them for click here to order. And I can give you the ISBN number, but you probably don't need that.
And the AdSense code.
And the AdSense code.
And just reading it, if there's somebody out there who has not yet become hugely successful online, you're just going to read so many stories of people who were just like you or worse off than you and turn their lives around overnight virtually.
There'd be a good story about having an internet marketer who started his whole business at a public library. That'd be kind of an interesting...
I see a movie script.
That'd be an interesting story.
There's a screenplay there.
I see Tom Hanks and the little blonde that he plays opposite often.
Meg Ryan?
Yeah, she'd be the one there to write the book, and he'd be the shy librarian. Copyright 2008.
I actually had a screenplay idea for you when you said you're going all around the world teaching people how to start up radio stations and help with radio stations. And I was thinking of some war-torn African country where you go teach some local guy how to start a radio station and all the trouble it gets in.
Got a random Ustreamer here that met us at Never Work Again seminar in LA last May. And the rest is a work of art still becoming. I don't know who you are because you don't have a login, but welcome. I'm glad you're here. World of Ebook says, I got click here to order on Amazon, started reading. It's a really good book. Thank you very much. A lot of exciting things happening around here, actually. The conference is coming. If you have not reserved your seat yet, you are missing out. Those who are coming to Elevate 2008, check this out. This is nice. This is, those who are coming are getting this in the mail. This is a conference pre-registration form, and it asks your information, what you're passionate about, if you have a product idea, your biggest struggle in building your business, your skill level, and that's for our attendees to keep. And then you tear this off, and this is the ticket. for our attendees to be here in Colorado, and this is a bookmark to remind you. If you have not made your reservations yet, we still have some seats available. Go to elevateseminar.com, and there's a phone number on the page. I don't even want you to click to order on the page. I want you to call here, call our offices, speak to Joey Montez. Joey is awesome. You're going to love him. The conference is October 24th through 26th here in Denver, and we still have some seats available. Call Joey, speak with him, and get your seat. And Chris, you can put the phone number.
Hotel is included.
Joel, wait, I'm confused. That's all they get for the registrations? That piece of paper where they fill in their three things?
They don't even come.
It's a ripoff.
Yeah. They are actually going to come here for 3 days and learn from us.
Oh, so there's more than just that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a deal, huh?
Because that would be a ripoff. Actually, what he showed you how to consume his product. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Tearing it off and
That's it. Yeah, we're demonstrating.
Do you want to know how long I've been an internet expert? I flew here this morning from Los Angeles, and this is what I brought with me. You probably haven't heard of it. It's new.
CompuServe. The random Ustreamer is Marilyn Pulliam. Met Joel in LA and changed my $ life.
Nice.
Very cool. BCF Live wants to know, are they getting a flying monkey too? Yes. In fact, every attendee is getting an autographed copy of Click Here to Order. Beside the teaching, they actually are going to receive a flying monkey here on location. Would you like to do the honors
Joel's had me
today?
signing books all day.
I'd be kind of nervous
There's
about
nothing
it.
to it. You just put one finger in here and one finger in here.
Yeah.
And pull back and just right past the camera.
I'm sure
It's flying monkey time.
I missed where the finger
That was
stuff.
easy.
Finger stuff
Yeah,
went.
right here.
Little
there,
sleeve there.
Right there.
Little sleeve there.
See? Put a pinky in there.
So
You
I
can do this.
I can do this. I put
I-
pinky
I-
this way.
I would do it so he's on top.
Either way, as long as it's there.
Okay.
As long as they're in there.
And then the other.
Just
And
look on the other finger.
And then I just like swing them and.
Here, I'll help you out. Oh no,
you radio people.
radio people. Goes like this, like that.
Oh.
So then you shoot it.
Oh,
You
okay.
still want to do it, or you want to just?
I'd love to do it.
No,
Okay,
he
good.
loves to do it.
Yeah,
Just
now-
don't actually hit the equipment. It's okay if you hit Chris the Hand Harper. And
I think I am.
after that, we're going to go ahead and roll part 4 of a .com story.
Okay, here. No.
No, other way.
I'm
Flip it over.
Pass the camera.
No, other way.
You're going to hit yourself with it.
This works great on radio, by the way.
Chris, nothing personal, man.
Put the feet back
No,
forward.
no, other way. Feet have to go. Other way, shooting in your head.
Okay, part 4 of a .com story. More flying monkey goodness after this. Roll it. So it wasn't too long after I launched worldvillage.com that I realized everything wasn't going to be as rosy and sunny as I hoped it would be. Building a website online and trying to monetize it was hard work. In fact, we received about $25,000 in funding from an angel investor and went through that cash pretty quick because I quit my job in order to work. All right, are we live again? $25,000 in funding from an angel investor and went through that cash pretty quick. Chris the Hand is having it out with his Mac. Apparently, part 2 was just really, really good, and it wants to play it again and again and again.
We got to tell the rest of the story. The flying monkey knocked Chris out cold. So he's unconscious. No one's running the show.
I don't know what to do with myself now. That just threw me for a loop. I got these toys that I get. Not so much the Easy Button. Chris, tell me when it's ready. ThinkGeek.com. Great site, and they just sent me their new catalog, and there is some great. They have
Why
the
don't they
flying
just send you
monkeys.
everything that's in it?
They have the flying monkeys for $6.99, but they also have ThinkGeek.com. There you go. They have the 8-bit tie. They have astronaut ice cream. They have lightsabers. They have the Annoyatron. Look at this little device here. It's a little chip. A device that can drive your victims crazy trying to figure out what it is and where it's located. So I guess you put it somewhere, it just makes noises.
That was my nickname in school.
Annoyatron?
Annoyatron.
I thought they were talking about the clock radios in hotels, but okay.
Here's the beating heart stress relief pillow. She's all snuggled up with it and it beats. The USB robot owl. Plug it into your USB port and he sits on top of your monitor and... Woo. Are you ready?
How about we do the 7 keys and that's how it connected?
All right. I told you guys last week, somebody asked about the words on the wall. Can't remember who it was. And these are our 7 keys to success. And we're going to give you guys a sneak preview of key number 1. This has not been released on YouTube or anywhere. This is the world premiere of part 1, 7 keys. Roll it.
This is what we call my 7 keys to success. And what I want to do today is talk about principles that I believe should be part of your success toolbox. And I want to weave in a couple things. I want to weave in a little bit of my story so you know where I've come from and how these principles have played out in my life. And then I want to bring it back home. Because really, this is not about me. This is about you guys. This is about you guys walking out of here with something that you can use. Are you ready? Yes. All right, let's get on with number 1. Number 1 is you have to dream. It all begins with the big dream. Now listen and listen closely. Please, I'll be polite. I believe each person in this room is uniquely gifted, has a unique skill set, unique talents, unique abilities that when you put them together along with their personality, it is unlike anybody else in the world. How cool is that? Say, I'm unique. I'm unique. It's true. There's nobody that can replace you and the value that you as a person and what you're able to do brings to the world. Just dwell on that for a minute. I mean, that is not just hyperbole. That is not just fluff. You're it. And you bring a value that nobody else can bring. And what happens is, what I believe is that instilled in us is at least one passion. Something that just makes us get out of bed in the morning, or something that, if we were doing it, would make us get out of bed in the morning. Because let's face it, there's a lot of people that aren't doing what they were made to do. Isn't that right? I think it was Henry David Thoreau said, most men and women leave lives of quiet desperation. Never really, end quote, never really connecting what their purpose is, what they were made to do. It's sad, isn't it? I always knew that I would be an entrepreneur. And it's kind of by default. Anybody know what I mean by that? I should have had a hat, or maybe tattooed on me, does not play well with others. Or does not work well for others. And why is that? It's because, Mr. Boss, sir, wouldn't it be better if we did this way? Well, the way we're doing it is the way we've always done it, and this is the way we're going to do it, and who are you to be... You do that too often, and pretty soon they think, we think that you'd be a better fit somewhere else. And yes, that has happened to me. I know it would be really hard for you guys to believe that I was a DJ, right? No. Rock 107 WPGU spinning stacks and stacks of hot wax, and now we've got Foreigner for you, Cold-Blooded. I used to think that being a radio DJ would be glamorous. Okay, that was Madonna, and that was... Oh, and the weather, it was terrible. Sometimes following your passion and doing what you're made to do is not easy. In fact, I would say the odds are that it's going to be difficult. But isn't that where the greatest reward is? Isn't that where the reward is?
Come on.
There you go.
7 keys. That is the first part of the first key, and the second part of the first key will be in the third part of the fourth day.
And we'll unlock a new key each week.
Ooh. Can you solve this?
Yes,
Never
I
mind.
can.
That was easy.
Joel Comm Live, those of you just joining
Magic
us
marker,
with
okay.
Dan Nickerson and my special guest, Dan O'Day, living legend of radio. Give me like a quick, when you sign on, turn on the radio, turn on your mic, music comes out, and you greet the world.
That was it, actually. Well, I didn't do DJ Patter, really, so I guess I really don't remember how I started the show.
Is this on?
I just taught, yeah. Hello? Yeah, hold on, I got to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
No, well, I always was on a music station, so a song would end, and you would do the basics, which means you say, that was Eric Clapton, it's 6:04, I'm Dan O'Day, and then I would immediately start.
With a little more energy, right?
No, that's about it.
Is it?
Yeah, because I would not be like this. So for the person who wants to be a disc jockey, this is not how you be a disc jockey, okay? This is how you be a disc jockey. And just sitting like this, you probably can hear a difference. There's some people who stand because they don't want to get too relaxed.
It would cut your head off,
But
though, if you did that.
with that, yeah, and
And you'd
I don't
hit
want to
your head on
stand,
the mic.
and I don't want to stand for 4
It'd
hours.
actually be very entertaining. Go ahead.
But well, I'll tell you what. If enough people buy your book, we'll decapitate Dan on your show.
That Dan.
But just sitting forward like this, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to try to change my voice at all. All I'm going to do is sit back a bit, and I'm not trying to change it. But I guarantee, if I were to hear a recording of it, I'd hear a difference, and so there would be a lot more intensity. It's a drug. It's so cool to know that you are talking to thousands or tens of thousands or maybe just hundreds, depending on where you are, but talking to people live at that moment. And it also was cool. This is the part that always amazed me when I would think about it. Every now and then I reflect on the fact, wow, I can do anything I want right now. And this entire radio station is kind of being held hostage. And so every now and
And
then.
they could also fire you the moment after you do that.
Yeah, but it was always worth it.
The GM opens the door. Of course, you've locked it and barricaded yourself in so that they can't. You ought to do. Have you considered doing a live stream on your website for DJs?
A regular?
A weekly program where it would be you teaching and answering questions from other radio personalities.
Well, watching the setup here, it certainly makes me want to. There are a couple of things that
Because it's in your blood.
that
You
give.
can't avoid it.
Well, he's done this show in the back of a limo with the camera on the computer.
Yeah,
too,
because
you know?
as long as you have a camera on your computer,
you don't need anything else.
you can just take it with you. As long as you have bandwidth, right? A little
Yeah.
Verizon card I plug in.
What if your battery's dead?
Well, yeah,
So you couldn't then.
that would be a problem.
So if you had a camera and you had bandwidth but a dead battery, you could not do it.
That is correct. You would,
See, you got to read the fine print, with
Ay,
Joel.
ay, ay.
So
Radio Trailer has
So
lots of good
looking
things
at this, it really makes me want to do it. The two things that hold me back right now, one is I'd have to be there every week at a certain time, which is difficult because I travel a lot. And I know you're gonna say, well, just do it from wherever you are, but a lot of it's international. Sometimes I might be on an airplane at that given moment. And the other is that I would have to have someone like we have here sitting out there riding shotgun and making sure everything's okay. And I tend to do things like a one-man band. If I do it every week, will you come to LA and just sit on one of the Macs and keep me going?
every week or like as a special guest?
No, every week.
I know.
Just
Sorry.
Then why'd you
But I
why'd
would-
you get me all excited?
I would tune into the show, or at least send a surrogate logged in
You'd
my
have
name to make
you'd
you.
have a robot. That's
Yeah,
good. There's a
to make
robot
you
thing.
think
Well,
that I
it'd be
was
funny.
there.
What you could do actually, you could have a DJ auditions thing where people submitted DJ auditions to you, like on their YouTube thing, and you play those on your site too.
Yeah, we there's some fun stuff we do on my blog, and we'll be doing more of that. I'm starting to. When I travel now, I bring my little camera with me and take the inside scenes of radio stations. But I'll spend 30 seconds on the equipment, and then I'll demand to be taken to the bulletin board. There's always a bulletin board at a radio station where people post angry memos. And I love, it's like, look,
We need to.
whoever's been taking the yogurt out of the refrigerator, it's mine. I just love those.
We've progressed beyond bulletin boards. We have whiteboards.
And do people put
You
their
could actually-
complaints?
We don't do enough of that. We need more complaining around
Actually,
here.
now we're carving stuff into this stuff here.
Here's a question for you. Favorite oldies song? Don't
It is
belabor
not
this.
Pretty Woman, and it is
Thank
not
you.
You've Lost That Love and Feeling,
Thank
which
you.
are the only two songs that oldie stations play. Favorite oldies song. Let's see. I'm not sure I can pick one. Let me just rattle off. First of all, you have songs and you have hits. So, for example, great hit, not a great song, but a great hit was Along Comes Mary. Great hit record. Hey Jude, incredible record. Hey Jude is how you explain Einstein's theory of relativity to someone who doesn't get it. Hey Jude is 7 minutes and 14 seconds long, and the average hit single is 2.5 minutes. And radio programmers around the world are convinced listeners only have an attention span of 2.5 minutes. But when you're listening to Hey Jude on your car radio, if you like that song, and it fades out at the end, you're going again.
It's still going. You know what? Another song that I remember buying American Pie.
Oh, God.
Don McLean.
Yeah.
In the 45,
They,
you got halfway through the song, you'd have to take the needle off, flip the record. Now, if you had the LP, it was all there. But
and
the
they made a
45
4-minute version also just for radio.
Right, but the 45, you had to physically flip it
Yeah.
to listen to the second half of the song.
Yeah. Oh, and okay, I'll name this just a couple of favorite songs. One is a song you never heard of called "Stayin' In" by Bobby V, which is a great song.
You are really dating yourself now.
Well, somebody has to.
You know,
Set the Wayback
if we
Machine.
polled our iVote users their favorite oldie, it'd be like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know, it's just like, well,
Well, my favorite would be something by Sousa, I think. But "Stayin' In" and I'll think of the others. There's some just great records, but none leaps to mind.
We've got some people trying to reach us by phone to book their seats for ElevateSeminar.com. Chris just typed in, I know it says Joel Comm, but that's actually Chris Harper manning the keyboard there, because you'll notice my hands have remained away from the keyboard all this time. It's amazing that I can do this typing. If you'll just call our office number there, 970-278-0011, I guarantee if you come out here in October for this 3-day conference, it will be a life-changing experience for you. It will be revolutionary, because we are going to pull back the curtain on how we run a multi-million-dollar business, give you the keys to the kingdom, show you how we do it, and it's going to pay off so many times over. You're going to say, this was the defining moment. This is where I'm going to plant my flag and say this is a milestone, because from here on out everything's going to be different, and I'm going to build a business unlike anything I've ever had before. And that's how it's going to be for you when you leave here today.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and here's your instant radio critique. Did you catch the mistake he made?
You're so picky.
Hold back the phone number. First, don't give the phone number until people are dying to get it, and you just kind of rush through it.
Do you want to know the
And I
phone
know
number?
you've given it
Do you
before.
want to know?
But seriously, so build it, and then you say, so if you want to attend, I want you to call now. Here's the number. Pause, and then you say,
Get a pen and a paper and write this down, 970-278-0011. That's 970-278-0011. Call now for your free set of Ginsu knives.
I think everyone at WPGU in Champaign is really glad you're gone.
It was boring.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that.
This is more fun. I would rather interact
this-
with people in a talk format.
Well, that's what I did on radio. You know, I had fun on radio, but you're right. It's too long of a story, but yeah, don't get into radio if it's because you love music, because that will break your heart. Because as soon as you get into radio, you'll find you don't get to choose the music, which always upsets people.
well, the best thing too is that we can look back at these videos in 50 years and go like, oh God.
Especially
well,
the
that's
ones
good. What was I
where
doing?
Dan wore shorts, like this summer. He
Yeah.
was in shorts and he had
My
these
pale
pasty
white legs.
white legs,
Yeah.
you know, and that's forever on there.
And I'll never wear shorts again.
Ever.
Unless I'm hosting the show and I'm behind the desk.
And that's the best thing about this.
Yes.
What would you say is the worst thing about this?
Worst thing about this? I don't know. Sometimes I have nothing to say.
We have guests set up stage and he doesn't get to talk.
If you had ever been, have you ever been on the radio? As a DJ?
No, as a call-in one time, yeah.
If you had been a DJ,
Right.
what do you suppose your best day would have been, your favorite day?
The day I retired.
Cool.
I don't know. I was never much into it.
Yeah, if it's not your thing, I always thought it would be my thing, and I enjoyed doing the nightclubs. But in the nightclubs, you have people to interact with.
Yeah.
You see the response. You put a song, and they go, "Whoa!" Or they go, they leave the dance floor or whatever.
If you're going to succeed, you need to develop very quickly a sense of your audience and a self-confidence that when it feels to you that it's working, you just kind of trust that it is, because you don't get any instant response. And that is actually somewhat scary.
That's what's interesting about this is, I love this. I'm a bit of a ham, I'll admit it, but I enjoy the camera. I enjoy talking to people on camera, having some fun. Hopefully you guys are having a good time, but we get to see feedback. They ask questions and it's instant. Astroman says, Dan, last time we saw legs like that, they were attached to a pigeon.
Right.
Sorry.
Don't look up.
Sorry.
One thing too, I should mention that one thing every time I go back home to New England, when I'm on the drive, I listen to Howie Carr. Howie Carr syndicated, he's talk.
Right.
But man, I miss that guy, Howie Carr.
I miss you,
That was
Howie.
the most radio I ever listened to was Howie Carr every day from like 3 to 6. Boston.
Little turd.
WRKO.
Say it right. WRKO.
Yeah, WRKO. 68.
68.
680, sorry.
680. Yeah,
Sorry.
It's
68.
it's an AM station, so it used to
Yeah.
be
I
top
keep
40, now it's top.
I don't listen to much music on the radio anymore. It's pretty much talk. What do you think of Glenn Beck?
First of all, does my pause telegraph anything?
Well, it tells me your political leanings, but it's
No,
fair
it
to say-
actually doesn't tell you my political leanings, because there are people on either side that I give this answer to. Okay, basically, intensely stupid.
Really?
Yes.
Well, what does that say for me? Because I like
Intensely
the guy.
Yeah. It's astonishing.
What do you
how
think is
dense.
stupid?
He's not smart. He's not smart.
Glenn Beck, you are a stupid, stupid man. I
Yeah,
think he'll
when-
be the first to admit that, actually.
I used to, for 15 years, I published a comedy service for disc jockeys. Around the world, about 1,000 disc jockeys got this thing called O-liners. And we would offer one free sample. And like every week, Glenn Beck would write for a free sample. And he developed a reputation among radio people as most likely to end up doing talk somewhere.
So he's very popular now in his TV show. I mean, he's on CNN of all channels, which amazes me because politically he doesn't align with CNN. He makes fun of CNN.
This is just my theory based on my experience in radio. The most talented radio people don't usually end up doing their programs on CNN headline news. But that's
Well,
me.
he's on the radio.
Well, he still has
too.
one of those popular
He's got
shows.
one of the
No, I know.
third most popular show. Speaking of politics, Sarah Palin, love her or hate her, doesn't matter. I sent out an email yesterday. I found the site where they were making Sarah Palin dolls, action figures. Have you seen this yet?
No.
Oh, I'll show you this. Let me pull it up here. Anyway, Sarah Palin action figures, and I contacted the owner, and I said, could I be a reseller? And he said, sure, and we're pricing them lower than he's pricing right now. So SarahPalinActionFigure.com, you can order the Sarah Palin Executive Doll or the Superhero, and she's got a 45 there in her hand, and with the Tomb Raider outfit. And, this is the perfect Christmas gift. So SarahPalinActionFigure.com, the lowest price on the internet, and we're selling these every hour.
But the really funny story is that I show up for work, I'm all gung-ho, I got lots of projects.
Yesterday morning,
And
or
Joel's
Monday
like,
morning.
Dan, I need you to make a Sarah Palin action figure website. I'm like, what? Huh?
Dan is,
Huh?
new title for Dan Nickerson, fastest website builder in the world.
Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
gonna have to video. We're gonna do it one day. We're gonna start. I'm gonna say, here's the domain, and we're gonna film you creating the graphics, the HTML, uploading it in a finished website, and we're gonna show it. And people are gonna be like, there's no way that he did that in real time
In Microsoft front page.
in Microsoft front page.
Because I've been doing
It's
it since
true.
1995.
Hey Chris, let's.
Somebody actually called for Ginsu knives.
Did they? Well, you know what? We will throw in a set of Ginsu knives if they come to the conference.
Guess they weren't the sharpest person in the.
Oh, but we're gonna do that video
Let's cut a can.
for sure.
Sorry, guys.
We get such a professional production
Let's
going
cut a
on here.
laptop with a Ginsu knife. That'd be fun.
We've got just a few minutes left. I'm glad you guys could join us
Well, that's
today.
a great. Has anyone come out with a Swiss Army knife laptop? So with everything else, you got the little scissors and the tweezers, just comes right out of the side.
I don't know.
I think there's a market there.
It could be,
Edward wants to know what you use to create graphics.
Photoshop.
Photoshop.
Photoshop. I have an old version too.
Yeah, you got version 7.
Yeah.
I've got version 5.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it
actually
runs.
getting a new laptop this week, probably today.
Yeah, it's about time.
So I have all the new stuff.
You'll be more productive.
I'll probably hate it and want to go back to the old stuff. So.
You will be that much more productive. One final word about the conference. I know that some people are calling in. If you were to come and spend a day with me and my team here in our offices, it's $10,000, and that's just the price. Because for us to pull off and focus our efforts all day long on one person when we've got all these other projects, it's very costly for us and well worth it for anybody who takes advantage of it. The Elevate seminar is going to be 3 days with me and my team. We're topping it out at 50 people, so it's going to be a very intimate setting, and there's going to be a lot, and that way there's a lot of give and take. You ask questions and actually get answers instead of us putting 1,000 people at a room at a very cheap price. There is a higher bar to get in, but that bar is well worth crossing. Go to elevateseminar.com, and I think we should be filled up within the next week or so. But if you guys want in, it's the next step to take. You really want to get serious about building your internet business. This is the step.
Maybe I'll make a website for everybody during one session.
That'd be
We can do
amazing.
that.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be fun. We'll film that as well.
I also did a presentation where we created a product and website in 90 minutes down at JV Alert Live.
Yeah,
last year.
I wish I could have been a part of that. I got sick
Yeah.
and had to go home, but you and Eric Holmlin.
Yeah, we used the audience to actually create a product, and I had a rough template for the sales page, but no copy.
What's the URL for it now?
It's instantjvsecrets.com.
InstantJVSecrets.com. It's a $7 product.
$7 product.
Basically,
tons of bonuses.
What they
Yeah.
did is they said, everybody in the room, write down your best tip and your best strategy. And by now, if you can spend $7 and just get one tip that makes a difference and makes your business that much better, it's worth it. And how many tips are in this book?
Oh, I forgot. Actually,
50 or so?
Yeah, there's like 50 or so tips.
For $7.
It's funny. We had all the people contribute bonuses too. So they contributed bonus. We had like 36 bonuses. We had all these tips, and we kept adding more bonuses. And so people paid the $7, and because we created this on the fly, there were a few typos. So someone's like, yeah, there's typos. This is shoddy work. I want my $7 back. Yeah. So
There's a success mindset for you.
That's what I call the Romanian judges. There are always a couple. So,
That was easy.
so how much you're limiting it to 50 people, right?
That's it.
And what do they pay for that?
It's the retail is $5,000,
$5,000.
but
$5,000. How could anything be worth $5,000? Do you realize what you could do with $5,000? $5,000. Okay.
if you call now
Yeah.
and talk to Joey, give him the code elevate me at the number that Chris is going to put on the chat room, you can get half off.
Oh, okay. Now it's a no-brainer. Do it. Just
$2,500.
do it.
And
Do it.
but wait, there's more. When you go to a conference, who pays for your hotel room?
Well, actually, the hosts do, because I speak at those things.
I'm not that type though. If you just
If I went to a conference, I would have to
You'd
pay
pay.
for a hotel room through the nose. It would cost thousands probably
We-
just for the hotel.
we are paying for their hotel.
Really?
Yes.
Some cheesy little motel.
No. This is the Inverness Hotel in Denver. It is a classy
Nice.
joint. Very beautiful facility. InvernessHotel.com. Anyway,
That's cool.
Alan, you are a gem. He says, Alan Bechtold, doesn't matter what my political leanings are, I'm still brilliant. Love you, man. Thank you very much for saying that. It takes a big man to recognize brilliance, even among those of us who lean towards the right, which looks to the left when you're looking at me.
That's screen
This way.
geography. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, screen geography. So with that said, Our time is up for
Our
this
time's
week.
up.
Our time is up. It's gone like that, hasn't it?
Yeah, this was actually fun. I didn't want to be here, as you know. I didn't want to do this, and you made me.
Yeah, because you're very shy.
But to my surprise, this was actually a lot of fun.
Visit this Dan O'Day, radio guru. Visit his site, www.danoday, D-A-Y, just like it sounds, danoday.com. And he's got all kinds of resources there about radio, history of radio.
It'd be fun if you go to danoday.com, click on where it says "Bad Commercial Generator." It's right on the navigation
I
bar.
looked at that yesterday. It's
Did you
actually
try
very
it?
fun. I did. Yeah.
And we'll ask you a few questions about your business, and we will instantly write a bad commercial for you, thereby saving you the time and energy. So.
That's a great idea. He's got a free teleseminar. He's got radio newsletters. He's got all kinds of help on here for people in radio. So bookmark this one. Send it to your friends that are interested in being a radio personality, and we're going to help you with the site. We're going to fine tune the crud out of this because.
I've got a whole long list of things I've been meaning to do on that site.
So the time is drawing nigh. So thanks again for joining us.
That's my
Appreciate
pleasure.
it, man.
Thank you. This is an honor.
Pleasure.
Dan
Nickerson. And until next week, go by Click Here to Order, clickheretoorderbook.com. See you guys.
See ya.
Do good stuff.